Hi folks, Andy from the Car Boutique here, and we have got something a bit special today, and I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible. My target's 10 minutes for this video, but you don't know what's going to happen with me, do you? Once I start talking, that's it, it can go on for an hour, but I'm going to try and keep it compact. So today I'm going to be testing something I've had my eye on for the last few weeks since I bought it, and what we are looking at today is Dodo Juice's Supernatural DEUS. Okay, so it comes in this lovely sort of leather, simulated leather box. It's got a magnetic clip at the front, and it comes in this beautifully presented box. An aluminium, I think it's aluminium pot, almost like a billet pot, 30 millilitres of juice wax. Now, stand by. It's not £20, it's not £30, it's not £50, it's £95 for 30 millilitres. Okay, so it is an expensive wax. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, well, I collect waxes, why am I using this? Well, for a couple of reasons, really. First of all, this doesn't have much of a smell at all. In fact, it sort of smells of boot polish. Okay, so it's not giving me that smell that I like in a wax, which is fine. And also, the pour isn't the way I like my sort of collection waxes to be. And the reason why I say that is when I collect a wax, my intent isn't to use it. So I have to derive some kind of enjoyment from it. And the enjoyment I get is the packaging, the design of the label, the pour, the smell. And well, because I'm not using it, I've got to get that enjoyment from somewhere else. It's all those variables. This pot doesn't give me that. All right. Now, I'm not talking negatively off the wax in any way, shape, or form. I'm just explaining my rationale why I am going to test this rather than put it in my collection. The other reason is most of the pots in my collection are 100 or 200 or 250. This is 30 millilitres, and it just doesn't fit in with my collection. I like the big pots where I can enjoy looking at it, smelling it, and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, no smell, and it's far, far too small. But it also gives me a very, very good opportunity to try out a high-end wax. Now, there's only going to be 300 of these made, so it is a limited edition wax, and they do a 250 millilitre pot, I think, which is about £950. So it's an excellent opportunity to test one of those waxes that lots of people say, that is far too expensive, they can't justify it. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Now, I will sort of put the caveat on that when people buy waxes like this, it's not, you know, 9 times out of 10 people aren't going to use it. It's going to be for a collection, all right? And the fact that these are limited edition is going to sort of gear them to buying it, irrespective of how the wax performs. So the value of this video is limited, really. It's really for me to share with you my experimentation and enjoyment of this wax and just see how good it is. Now, the wax itself is an SiO2, so it's a silicon dioxide and graphene oxide combination. It's a blend, so it's a silicon graphene infused wax. So I'm looking at all the normal stuff. Ease of application, ease of removal, what finish it gives, hydrophobics, etc., etc. And I've already established it doesn't smell of anything, and visually the pour, there's a bit of a dip in the middle, and it almost looks used. Now, I did contact Dodo Juice and asked them, is that normal? And it is normal. That is just the pour. So if you've got one of these and you're thinking the same, do not worry about it. It won't affect the functionality of the wax, but like I said, it doesn't fit into my collection where I want perfect pour, smell, all the good stuff. All right, it's not a negative spin on this wax in any shape or form. I'm trying to explain why I am going to test this. Now, as soon as I rub it, that's it, £95 gone. However, what I am going to do is, I presume you've probably got 2 or 3 cars out of this. Once I've used this, I'm going to give this to someone else. So the first person that messages me under the video link on the Car Boutique's Facebook group, I will send this to, and they can use it. If they want to use it, review it, send it on, and give someone else the enjoyment, fine. But once I've tested this, it's pretty much, I'm probably not going to test it again. So I would rather pass this on to someone and they can enjoy it as well. And that's what the Car Boutique's all about. So yeah, we're going to see how we get on. Expecting high things. All right, it is a very, very expensive wax, and it'll be interesting to see whether I think it's a wax that I would value, and I would, subject to the price coming down, want to buy. So let's have a play. So the first thing we're going to do, the car's just arrived. It is a Ford Focus. We're going to give it a normal safe wash process. So that's going to be citrus pre-wash. It's going to be snow foam, pH neutral shampoo. We're going to use tar and glue, fallout spray. Then I'm going to go around with a water spot remover, and then I'm going to panel wipe it and prep it ready for the application of the wax to give it the best chance. So let's do that. Now what you find with a lot of these graphene infused products is they can be quite grabby to go on. So it'll be interesting to see how this one operates. So as with any wax, less is more. And all you're looking to do is put the slightest coverage over the paint. The only bit you're worried about is the wax in contact with the paint. Anything else, i.e. putting too much on your pad, is just a waste, and then you're going to have potential difficulties taking it off. But this is going on nice and smooth. It's not the smoothest, but like I said, I've used quite a few of these graphene infused products and they can be a bit grabby on application, but I've got the light coming down here so I can see the coverage, and that's going on nice and easy. I'm still going with the first sort of application. It's just something I do. I go around in circles and just go for a light up and down just to get that even thin coverage. That's refreshing actually. I was worried that this is going to be like so many of these other graphene infused waxes whereby it can be quite a chore to get it on, and I'm really already looking forward to seeing how easy this comes off. Now I've already done a test panel with this because I want to know, there's no real instructions, it basically just says allow to haze and buff off. I've done one panel on the car and I've left it for 5 minutes, taken it off, then I did another panel and I left it about for 25-30 minutes. So my plan for this one is to just go around the entire car because I know it comes off nice and easy, and you can easily see where you've gone. Albeit a dark car, it is easier to wax a car in terms of seeing where you've been. So I'm happy with that. What I am going to do is I'm only going to do half of the bonnet. I'm going to do the rest of the car, and I'm going to do the hydrophobicity comparison between the treated side and the untreated side. So the only bit I'm going to leave is that half of the bonnet. So let's crack on and do the rest of the car. Okay, so I've applied the wax to the whole car apart from that left side, your left side, which I've left blank, and we'll go on to that when we do the hydrophobicity comparison. So this was the first panel you saw me do. It's probably been on a good half an hour, and then we're just going to look at removal. So quite a plush microfiber for this, and I'm hoping this comes off nice and easy. And that does. Oh, that's nice. That is effortless. I'm starting to like this wax a lot. I like the fact that it's a graphene ceramic, so you're going to get the longevity, and like I said, between 4 and 6 months is their claim. It goes on nice and easy for a graphene infused product, but this is, and I'm very careful the claims I make, probably one of the easiest to remove graphene style ceramic waxes that I've used. It literally just buffs off like you're just doing your final buff on a normal wax. You don't feel you're at that sort of removal stage. That's beautiful. Like I said, really starting to like this wax. Okay, we've come back 24 hours later to let all the wax fully vent off, and it gives us a more valid opportunity to look at the hydrophobicity. Some people critique when reviewers put a wax on then go straight to the water, so we've left it 24 hours and we're going to see how we get on. So remember that this was the half that we put the wax on, that was the half that we didn't. I'm going to spray it on. We're going to look at the beads first. I'll take the camera off the tripod and we'll see how we get on. So okay, hopefully the camera can pick this up. So they are the beads with the wax. Now most of the water is trying to run off. Good uniformity of beads. And this is a side that we didn't do. There's a lot more water staying on the bonnet and there's no real hydrophobicity there. There's lots of regular water spots, I'm sure you'll agree. I'll just get the water, just so we can get an idea of the beads before it starts going off, which is good. Trying to get some bigger ones. So you can see it's hard to get at beads because they want to go. Now what I'm finding it is, because it's wanting to repel the water so much, it's not allowing the beads to get that big before it goes. So this is a very, very good sheeting one, but you can see the difference there. That's that one, with most of it running off. And that's that one, it's just staying there. So no wax. You can see it's all running off. So that's the bead test. Let's have a look at the sort of water runoff test. Okay, so try and get a good angle for you to see this happening. Okay, here we go then. Now that is superb. That is very, very, very impressive. You can see all the tiny beads around there, and as soon as those beads get any sort of weight to them, off it shoots. I'm liking this even more. Right, I'm going to refill the bottle and we'll do the other side. So let's have a look at do it fairly again. I'll get the same angle. Untreated side. There's the difference. Quickly go back to here. Gone. I think that's awesome. Really, really good. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. This is a quick test, really. I want to keep this video as short as I can to give you a flavour of what this wax is all about. Now, I was going to do chemical resistance tests and all that kind of stuff by throwing fallout, tar and glue, TFR and all that kind of stuff. But the only issue I've got with that is it doesn't simulate the dirt, okay, the sort of exposure to all the environmental fallout and all that kind of stuff. So it's got limited value, but what I am going to do is I put a note in my diary to come back and visit this. All right, so I'm going to get the car back and then do the hydrophobicity test and see how it's performing under real world conditions, not simulated real world conditions. If I had time, and I've only got the car for a few hours, I would have done them chemical checks because it gives you something rather than nothing. Okay, but this was really just to look at my user experience. Now, initially I was suspicious, £95 for 30 millilitres, you know, £950 for a 250 millilitre pot. Bearing in mind, there is only 15, I didn't say that at the start. There's 300 of the small ones and 15 of the big ones in circulation. But I thought to myself, well, I'm a collector, I'm going to buy it for my collection. The only reason why, like I said right at the start, that it's not in my collection is, one, it smells of boot polish. Two, that the pour wasn't that uniform level that I'm looking for. The pot was a bit too small to naturally fit with my collection, and I personally feel it'll just go in my chiller and I won't probably get it out again because I'm not getting that smell experience and all the other bits. And black wax, it doesn't do much for me. But when you really think about it, Dodo Juice have pretty much released this as a collector piece, and they do that throughout the years. They've been going years and years, and they've released some fantastic high-end bespoke waxes, and it's all part of that evolution of their very special waxes. You've got to remember it's in a lovely aluminium pot. The design of the actual lid is really, really good. It's not a sticker, and it's beautifully presented in the box. So for some collectors, this is going to fit right up their street. I was more interested in testing it. Now, I'm going to be very careful. This is probably in the top 3 best waxes I've ever used. And I'm ignoring the price on that. Yes, you can get cheaper waxes that are very, very good. But I can't recall a ceramic graphene wax that is as easy and ridiculously easy to remove that leaves a definitive difference on your paintwork. Now, I'm not sure if hopefully it showed on the camera. This side is slightly darker than that side. It intensifies the colours, and it is very, very noticeable. The slick on this is superb compared to the untreated side, and the hydrophobics are possibly one of the best hydrophobics waxes I've used. The beading was fantastic. It was that hydrophobic that it wanted to get rid of the water. It wouldn't let the beads get very big before the weight of them shot them off, and you saw on the runoff test. Very, very, very few occasions where I can recall a wax performing that good on hydrophobic. So parking the price, this is one of the best waxes. It is a shame that this isn't a cheaper wax, because if it was in the sort of normal 50, 100, even up to £200, I would be buying absolutely loads of this. It's a fantastic wax, so easy to use. The results are great. I'll come back on the longevity. But like I said, this isn't a mainline wax. This is a collector wax for those that like something a bit different, a bit limited. But it just shows you what Dodo Juice can produce when they put their mind to it on their waxes. This is a superb wax. If you've got the money and you want to have a go, and there's any left because there was only 300 initially made, go and give it a go. And remember, I'm going to give this to someone who posts a comment. The first person that says they want it, posts a comment in the Facebook group, I'm happy to send it to, because I would rather someone else get an enjoyment. And I reckon there's probably 1 or 2 more cars worth in there. Okay, so I hope I've been fair and honest. I hope I've explained why I'm doing the test. It's a great wax. It's not for my collection, but if there were bigger pots, slightly cheaper, that fell into my affordability, I would be buying pots and pots of this, and that's all I'm going to say. So take care, and I will see you next time.